This is Robert Clotworthy, the narrator of The Curse of Oak Island, and I have a question for you. Could it be that you are listening to The Curse of Oak Island and Beyond live stream?
This is a top pocket find, mate, for sure.
Hi guys, welcome back to Jeff's channel. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Sassy P, for that. Hey, guys, welcome to the Curse of Oak Island and Beyond live stream. I am your host, Jeff Freeman, and right over here I have my co-host, Jack Campbell. And tonight we have our very special friends, Dustin and Deidra. Welcome.
There is a podcast about an island in the North Atlantic where people have been looking for an incredible treasure for more than 200 years.
Hey, I would have just, I was about to roll into our normal intro. We're your host. But
yeah, no, you are. Go ahead.
You are.
Here.
Yeah, what's up? It is a party.
Yes.
We're here to chat about Oak Island. What's up,
it is
everybody?
a party tonight. Got the wine going. We're toasting the season finale.
Should have brought the rest of my... This is wine.
Hey, welcome, everybody. We're glad you're here tonight. And I tell you what, we talked about early on getting together with Dustin and Deidra tonight. And they're our good friends, as you well know. And we asked them hey, let's do a thing together for the season finale. They jumped at the chance. And I am so honored that they would be here with us tonight. This is awesome to talk about the season finale of the show.
I want to say thank you for having us.
Right?
Yeah, so we're excited to do this little collaboration. You guys are awesome. And we're just happy to be here.
Right?
Oh, it's fun for me because I've listened to you, and now we get to actually talk to each other for once. I mean,
exactly. All right, so we got a lot of people coming in here tonight so far. We got Pat from Mississippi. Joe is here. Tom Burns. Hey, Tom, how you doing? Wanda, Henry, Darlene, Wanda. We got a lot of people showing up here. Thank you guys for coming tonight. This is awesome.
Yeah,
we give a few minutes.
Good to see you out there in the chat.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, quite a bit. And we are actually streaming live tonight on 5 different platforms. We got Could It Be Oak Island Podcast Facebook page. We've got our Facebook group page. We've got my YouTube channel, JFree906. We've got their YouTube channel, which is still it's Could It Be Oak Island, right? Oak Island Podcast. And our Twitch channel, we got that going as well. So we're on 5 different platforms tonight. I was really hoping we're going to be able to. It is a party. Linda says it's a party.
It's a party.
Yep. Party. And I wanted to give a special shout out for Linda and Jan. Thank you guys so much for all the hard work you guys do. Linda takes care of us all and keeps everything running. And Jan, I've got your synopsis here again tonight, but I don't know that I'll even get a chance to mess with it too much to see where we go tonight with the show. But man, oh man, this is exciting. And we may get a surprise or two as we go along tonight as well. Gene Campbell. All right. I'm going to see some names on here that I'm not familiar with just simply because of the different
groups.
Yeah. From all the different groups. We've got Graham, Grand Corcom, Scott. Scott Barlow's there.
Scott's here.
Hearts for Scott.
Barlow. I just glanced over and saw that. Scott Barlow is here with us tonight. Welcome, Scott. Glad you're here.
Alessandra's here tonight also.
Alessandra. Bookie Lee.
I think that Scott's here to hear the sea shanty.
The Steve shanty.
We got to be doing that. That's for sure. That's part of the party tonight for sure. Absolutely. Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. How you doing? Oh my goodness. Alessandra Nadavari here with us. Welcome. Bookie.
What is up, everybody?
Oh my gosh. Dan Myers.
Yeah, I see some hearts flying over on our page.
It's all for Scott.
Yeah, it's all for Scott, of course. Dan Myers is here. Oh my goodness. Paula. We got all kinds of folks joining us tonight. Well, I tell you what, last night was a great show. And I tell you, it was good. And I was excited for it. And just like Maddie had put out with that little thing, you're all excited about, the season finale coming, and then you're a little sad because now it's over. But I tell you what, it was a good show. And so was the drilling down. You guys enjoy the drilling down? It was on beforehand.
Oh,
Loved
yeah.
it. Yep, loved it.
Yep.
We're always getting a little bit of an extra glimpse at what the guys are thinking, sitting around the war room table when there's not like a specific agenda, just, hey, let's chat. Maddie is a pretty good facilitator of that, getting conversation going. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He gets everybody involved in it too. That's the neat thing about it.
Yeah, his enthusiasm just grabs a hold of me, and I'm right there with him. When you could just see how he is when he's on the island. He's like he's so fired up, and you guys just had an awesome interview with him.
Oh,
that was really good.
Thank you.
Man, he is so fun. We had him on. I don't know, it was a few weeks ago, and it was great. But you guys, that was really a good show. You guys do a great job with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He's a good guy, isn't he?
Oh,
he truly is. And
cool.
that,
I think we've had Tony on. Tony was just like that too.
Tony, yep. Also, yep, exactly. The one thing about I'm sorry, what was that?
I said they're 5-star human beings.
Yes.
Oh yeah. They are.
All of them. And that's the wonderful thing I think about it when I, doing this live stream like you guys have done and stuff, we've gotten a chance to meet these folks. And I got to tell you, every single one of them is a true good human being that I have just been blessed to meet. I can't say that enough. They're just genuine people. They really are.
You hit the nail on the head. They're all just what you see is what you get.
Exactly.
They all have wonderful senses of humor.
Yeah,
I know.
If we really, focus in on drilling down, not this episode, not this one that from the last night, but from last season, the Oak Island secret weapon one, where they went into specific profiles of some of these guys. I mean, that was so good. And that's kind of, if you do get a chance to chat with some of those guys, it's just like how they are, it's just, they're just super sweet and full of enthusiasm for Oak Island. So,
and they put up with us. I mean,
I know that's amazing for us too. They come on and they're so calm, and you ask a question, and it just flows. I mean,
and that kind of thing is a cherry on top.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, they're great people. And that's the thing about the theorists. We've had, just like you guys have had, different theorists on, and every one of them has talked about how they've met all these folks on the island and got to spend several hours with them and said the same exact thing. They're so genuine. And the fact that the show is not scripted, it's all right there. It's happening. And then we got to see a lot of that when we watched the making of Drilling Down. It was just on recently, and that was one of my favorites, just simply because I love that behind the scenes stuff. But we got to see how real it all is. That was just fascinating.
How the sausage is made.
Well, for me, it was. But now I know when they do the drone show, why is that parking lot so full all the time? Now we know.
Yeah, there's like an army of people there that we never see. And that was so cool.
And
I think the caterer got me. Boy, she's got to cook an awful lot for all those people and everything.
I was saying that lunch looks so good,
right?
I know.
Yeah, it's just kebabs and stuff they were having. Oh my goodness, yeah. And that was one of the things I mentioned when Jack and I were talking about it was, when they were having their lunch in the tent there. Wouldn't it have been so cool to just sit in there? I wouldn't have to say a word. I'd just sit there, just listening to them all talk, and that would. That would be.
I was saying that we would just go sit diagonally from Craig Tester because he was all alone.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he was sitting out there by himself. That's true. Actually, Maddie was too at the end there too. But yeah, Craig's a great guy too. And
he's the quiet one of the whole group. He's probably the most quietest one of all of them.
Yep.
He might be quiet on TV. I get this feeling he's a little punchy. I don't know. Something my gut says.
I think Peter Fernetti's the quiet one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. He probably is. Yep. All right. Judy's here with us. Judy Rudabush is here.
One of the things I noticed I want to bring up and ask you about. I was just doing some meandering this morning, thinking about things. And I got to thinking about Marion and Liz.
Oh, yeah.
How they grew up during the year. When they first came on, they were a deer in headlights. I mean, they didn't know what to do. I mean, they had no clue.
Other than the work that they were doing.
Other than the work that they were. And to see how they fell into the routine, fell into the conversations, fell into the fellowship. and Marion telling Rick what to do at the end of the year. So I was wondering your impression on that.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she sure did.
I
She
know
was
that
like,
was
"Oh yeah, just go dig over there."
Yeah. Oh, I loved it. I was rooting her on at that point. It kind of reminds me of when we interviewed Steve and he says, like, the first time you go on, he's like white as a ghost, you're nervous. And then after that, you do your work. You got to get used to it.
Mhm.
But can you imagine being them and walking on for the first time and not actually realizing how many cameras and the mic crew and everybody is there? Like, that's a shocker.
Well, you guys have a little story about it. You guys have been on camera. I've heard you mention it before, and I don't know that, I know a lot of our members that are in both of our groups, but you guys have a little story about being on camera. Why don't you share that with us real quick? You were on, what was it? What show was that with
it's Discovery Channel's Expedition Unknown.
Yes.
We were on in October 2019. It was actually 1 week prior to when Gary Drayton was on Expedition Unknown he was doing some magnet fishing with Josh Gates, the host.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun to see that. But yeah, we were on Expedition Unknown because we were looking for a buried treasure in San Francisco, California. And we found it.
No, we didn't. Oh my gosh.
We did not find it.
But you show up and you expect, I think I've mentioned this, like you expect maybe there's a camera or two cameras and, you're going to get mic'd most likely, but you show up and they're like, okay, you're on her, you're on him, you're for this white. I was like, how many are there of you? And what do you mean there's one dedicated to me? Like, I have a cameraman and you get to hear everything I say. So,
Well, they only use the good stuff on the show. Like they show whatever they filmed.
Yeah.
They look great. They made us look like $1 million each. But imagine all that back footage that doesn't see the light of day with you like picking your nose and stuff.
Yeah,
That'd be funny to see.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be just hilarious.
No, but it was a lot of fun. It was a 14-hour day, and that's just that's what they do every day on Oak Island. And it was tough. Doing 1 14-hour day was tough.
Yep.
Part of the hard part though was we didn't do a lot sometimes. Like sometimes we just stand there and not move for like an hour or 2 hours.
When were you not moving?
I don't know. Like we were not working, until the end. When we got to the end, then we started doing some digging and stuff. But we were just like
we were explaining a theory. You mean the physical
stuff.
work?
Yeah. Like my back was stiff doing it because I was like, oh my gosh, I barely even walked. I'm just like standing here,
Yeah, exactly. When we had to put shovels down, but we know it on a smaller scale. So I knew a little bit of what to expect in the background, but it was going to be times like 25
at least.
It
seemed like it. I mean, that was quite the crew.
That's amazing. Yeah, I've never had that experience, so maybe one day, but yeah, you guys have. So you guys are celebrities. You are, and I'm honored to have you here with us tonight. That's great.
Honored.
The host of Expedition Unknown, Josh Gates.
Oh yeah,
we spoke to him just a few days ago, and like last week, and he was telling us how, in our episode of Expedition Unknown, he got to drive in a DeLorean and act like Marty McFly. And like he got to do a reenactment of that because the premise of the treasure hunt we were doing is like it's from the early 1980s, and like his shtick in it was he was going back in time basically, and so he's getting the DeLorean like he was going back in time, and he told us that because of that he actually he got a month ago?
Yeah,
it was like about a month ago. He had a Expedition Back to the Future where he and Christopher Lloyd got to go and do a whole bunch of cool Back to the Future stuff together, and he got to drive a lot more DeLoreans, and they actually they got a DeLorean to auction off for Michael J. Fox's Parkinson's Foundation. So he said that happened because of us, because if he wasn't doing that, if he was not seen acting as Marty McFly in a DeLorean in our episode, it would have never have transpired to what happened.
Yeah,
that's awesome. See, there you go.
Cool.
Yeah,
I told him it was this one.
That's great. I actually got to meet Josh Gates once. Now he would never remember that because it was at an event. It was actually at a paranormal event That was happening at Fort Wayne in Detroit area. There's an old fort there that's closed down, and there was a paranormal event going there. And so I got to meet the ghost hunter guys, from the show Ghost Hunters. Well, it's now they're not ghost hunters anymore. Now it's Ghost Nation now, but it's those guys there. And I got to meet all of them, Tango and all of them guys. And I got to meet Josh Gates and some of the people in the paranormal world. So I was fascinated by that, but there weren't all a bunch of cameras around. We were all just having a good time. So,
Nice.
but so yeah, that was kind of neat. And he's so tall, you don't get that on the show that well.
He is rather tall.
He's probably like 2 inches taller than me, even, and I'm 6 feet tall. So
yeah, I am too. Yeah, 6 foot. So yeah, he definitely.
You're both
Jack's like 6'5" or something.
I'm 6'8".
6'8".
6'2".
Yeah, so he's a whole head taller than me.
How about that?
Yeah.
Don't tell them.
Yeah, another really nice guy. But that's really cool. That's a great story you guys have. And I was seeing that who was it? One of them. Somebody had said something here about, and I kind of got a little chuckle out of it. Said Oak Island Survivor, Curse of Oak Island Survivor. I forget who put that up there. It was David Bowling. Said Curse of Oak Island Survivor. That's pretty funny. Yep.
What's David, Mr. Gnome Man?
That's right.
He's searching for our gnome. You see
Oh,
that
really?
on my head?
Yeah.
There's a replica hidden out there somewhere in the world, and we put out a treasure hunt. And I know David's like out looking for him right now.
That's true.
He's probably listening to this and like
trying to find
in the
clues.
wilderness.
So yeah, interesting stuff. You guys are awesome, and I really appreciate it. But that's really cool. I tell you, what a great experience though, to really truly to be on that show. So
it was so much fun.
And I had to ask, we watched the drilling down, first last night. So I had to ask you guys, and I wanted to get your opinion. Just like they did at the end of the show, they did that little round table, and they were asking, and Maddie was going around and asking each person in the room. He said, "What theory would you like to see come true, and what theory do you honestly believe will happen?" And I want to ask you guys, what do you think? Do you have different opinions?
No, I know what her answer is. She wants it to be Shakespeare. She loves Shakespeare.
No.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
I hated Shakespeare in high school, and I always had this joke like, oh man, it's like they're gonna find this ancient vault with all these new works, and I'm gonna have to study them while I'm still in school. So that was like always my joke. And now I'm watching The Curse of Oak Island going, really? Really?
Don't go there. Don't go there.
I'll take them now. I mean, I'll deal with it.
Well, okay, then what do you actually hope it is?
Just something awesome. I mean, we all hope it's Templar, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
and I'm also pulling for Sam Ball, and him. Whatever. But realistically, I don't know. I'm more thinking it's going to be a reverse engineering to figure this thing out versus maybe necessarily a theory of the Who. If we can reverse engineer to find it, then maybe based off of what we find within said vault could lead to the Who.
Yeah. Dustin, what do you think?
No, I definitely hope it's some kind of Templar treasure. Oh yeah. And I hope the Ark of the Covenant's down there. I hope I don't know. That's all. If that's it, that'd be fine. But realistically, what do I think is down there? Probably a Gerhardt dump truck full of silver.
I love that. I love when they said that. Did you see his face? He was like, yeah.
I'm already excited.
I'd like to admit what I want to be there is Noah's Ark in the swamp.
There you go. See, Noah's Ark.
We're together on this, girl.
Yeah.
I mean, you could ask Jeff that anomaly. I've said that ship is an anomaly for 2 years.
Yep. Yeah, he has. He's been talking about it for a long time, and that's now, and we're getting closer. We'll find out next. Season 9. They're gonna end up putting. I hope they put their coffer dam in around it and they dig that baby up. So, What do you think, Jack? What do you think is likely to be the theory that comes?
I
true?
want Templar just because.
Okay.
I kind of stuck on 1220 for where the swamp was made.
Yep.
And to me that sounds Templar.
Yep.
In the back of my mind, I'm thinking British because it's part Templar, part Mason, and a little bit of everything. And a lot of what they have found this year has been British.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like I said, British could be Templar and Freemason. It could be all three put together very easily.
And Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah, which one? What about you?
Well, I would love it to be Templars. I really would. I would love the Templars to be, because I'm, and I've been working with the folks over at TTNA, Team Templar, and coming into North America. So I'd love all that to be true, and we get definitive proof of it. But as far as Oak Island is concerned, I mean, again, I'd love that, and I think that cross is very, very important. Nolan's cross. But what do I really think? I don't know. James McQuiston has a really good lead on this thing, going with the Scots coming over and bringing some treasure with them and all of that. So, but and then linking that with the American Revolution and all that kind of stuff, and using that money. So I'm thinking it probably might be more along those lines. But Templar, I want it to be Templar. I just do. I mean, I want that to be proven.
Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
All of our theories really go back to Templar to kind of it's a part of it, of all of us.
Yep, they can for sure. Yep. And that's we'll see. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping, but we'll find out what's going to actually happen with that, I guess, in the season going forward. But
hopefully,
hopefully. I know we got to get to the end of it, and that's the thing. And I've said sometimes, we'd all love there to be some treasure dug up. We'd love to see that. And you mentioned about the Ark of the Covenant being down in the money pit. You remember what Vanessa was saying when she was I had her on. You guys, she was like, I don't want to be the person that puts a case on down there and cuts the Ark of the Covenant in half. She goes,
or even pull it out whole. She's like, well, is there a curse that comes with that? What kind of obligations come with pulling out the Ark?
But I'll tell you what I heard her interview. They asked her, would you like to go back and do that big dig? And boy, she's ready. She's ready to go right now. She's a believer.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. It was fun to hear them briefly mention her on Drilling Down.
Yeah.
And her in the ROC. She's the CEO, right?
Yep.
And Rick was saying how, his daughter now can look at someone like Vanessa and say, look, if she could be a CEO, I could be a CEO.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
If you ever have her on, ask her how she first got started.
Yeah, that was interesting.
It is one of the funniest stories that you will ever hear.
You guys have talked. Have you talked with her before? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I thought you had. Yeah,
but she says it's one of my most embarrassing moments.
I remember
hiding in the case.
Hiding in the case on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was good.
So
I wasn't wearing makeup. I had to get out of there.
Vanessa's my spirit animal. I'd like to say she was supposed to originally be named Deidra. So
did not know that.
I'm just saying we have connection.
Do you definitely do?
You definitely do.
Yep.
Oh yeah, girl.
Oh yeah, girl. There you go. There they are.
It seems like the opportune moment to press the button.
Yeah, I was watching some of the chat going by. Somebody said petrified cabbages. That's what they're going to find. Petrified cabbages.
Well, I thought about the casks. Just even talking about the show, and I was thinking about this coming into here. Like, how many times have I joked with you guys about, it's just going to be a treasure full of beans and inside of casks, and they're going to be magic beans, and then we're going to have a Jack and the Beanstalk moment. And I was like, with the weight they found, it may be. I mean, magic beans are pretty valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe for weighing out magic beans or magic cabbages.
That's his
Hey, Jeff, check your screens.
What?
Linda just sent me a note that the screens went black.
It did. It shouldn't be.
It didn't for me.
You just went black on all my screens. I don't know. You guys still see us out there? Let me know.
Let us know.
Let me know if you're still seeing us.
Still watching it on her phone, and it seems fine.
Yeah, it looks fine.
Okay. Yeah, I'm watching the feed on Twitch is coming through fine, and so is. Yeah.
Still good on Facebook for Jan.
Yeah, looks okay.
Yep.
All right.
Sorry, okay, Linda. That's you.
Yeah, must be you, Linda. Sorry.
Refresh.
Yeah, refresh real quick. Still see you all. Okay, everybody says it's all good. All right, cool. Thank you very much, folks. Appreciate that. Yeah, we got a little worried there for a second. I didn't catch that. No, that was very interesting. That was the other thing too about the drilling down was where they were talking about the fact that so many, it was Rick, and he was talking about the fact that so many people have, this is even used in school. There's schools that actually show the Curse of Oak Island and talk about history in their history classes. And so the fact that, I know, wouldn't that be the best way to have a history class? But, the fact that it has touched the lives of so many people with the history and what's going on over there, that's something that has made Rick very, very happy. And Kevin Burns, when there was a little story they told about Kevin when he met with them for the first time in Traverse City. And he was discussing, coming on and starting and doing this TV show. And they were both kind of like, oh, we're not TV people or whatever. That's the thing that got Rick right there, was that he said, you were caught by reading that article in the 1965 version or episode of the Reader's Digest. That's what grabbed your attention. And that's what got you thinking about this all those years. And think about what you're doing now and how it's going to reach out and grab young people of the same age. And it's going to grab them as well and get them interested in this. And not only in that, but also in the history. And that was the big takeaway from the drilling down that I got, was Rick was talking about how much that is important to him. And it is, because of he's being so genuine, that's definitely important to him. That really meant a lot to me, for him to hit it that way, because it's very true.
Yep. Rick, that was like a bingo moment, like Kevin Burns played the right card.
Yes, he did. He hooked him in right there on the spot. He got him with that one right there for sure.
He must have he was able to, by looking at Rick Lagina, he pegged exactly who he was probably the moment he sat down. Because you can tell that guy is nice. You can tell he's genuine. You can tell he's very respectful of people. And you can tell that he really is passionate about Oak Island. He played the right card. Hook, line, sinker. Done deal.
Yeah.
Got it. He was all in at that point. You're right.
Yep.
All right. So getting on to the Curse of Oak Island season finale. I got to ask you guys, how many of you teared up at the end of that show?
I did.
I didn't.
Did you didn't?
I don't have a heart or a soul. It's in one of those casks in the bottom of the swamp. So let me know if you find it. It was very touching.
It was. Leslie, I was looking at Leslie, said, I love the emotion that Rick showed. I cried along with him. Yep. I tell you, I did too. I mean, I didn't have a tear running down my face, but I was choking up. I have to admit that.
I did too. I mean, and what he said, and you knew what he said was what came from the heart, what he felt.
Yes.
Yep. Go ahead.
He just got so emotional, so caught up in himself.
Oh yeah.
He got choked up, and it was kind of beautiful. It really was.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked Marty the way Marty did that too.
Yeah.
Credit him for leading it, and Marty admitting that, hey, I was so wrong about the swamp. If it wouldn't have been for you, we wouldn't be there right now.
Yep. Exactly right. Yeah. I did. It really got to me too. And I was like, because you know that he's one of those guys that wears his emotions on his sleeve, kind of like I do, unfortunately, sometimes. But yeah, I mean, and Marty gave him the absolute tribute that everybody, and you listen to everybody else around the table. And what did they all say? We'd follow you anywhere.
Right.
I mean, that right there, I mean, that would be like, man, that would just, yeah. And then, they all mean it. That's the other thing about that, is every one of them mean it. I'm looking at the people going by here. When Rick cries, I cry. That was Peg. She said that. She goes, Karen said, I did. Tears were flowing here. That was Mandy said that. I mean, yeah, it was, yeah.
It's okay. Boki said he had a heart of stone like me. So.
Okay, so when Deidra and I got married, I cried like a baby at the altar.
It was.
I could not stop. So I'm a big baby. I'm proud of it. It's fine.
Smiled. I said, okay.
Deidra didn't shed one little tear.
I was in shock. There were so many people there. I looked out. I was like, oh my gosh.
And I'm like,
hey, that's an emotional thing right there. Come on.
Apparently.
I was
my bad.
I was incredibly.
Well, I guess that's good. Right?
Deidre's like, let's get this over and get the party started, right?
Let's get the party started. Where's the bottle?
It was great. It was good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's jump into the show a little bit. And again, the season finale. It was a season. I did it. I just did it. Season finale. I said it. I knew it. I did that on the little.
avoid that word in any of its like surrounding dictionary words.
Oh my goodness. I said it during the promo, and I actually, I think I said it 3 times in the promo, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to say it on the air. And I did. I just did.
Okay.
You could
Okay,
just
the
say
season finale.
episode 25, the ultimate episode, the season finale, Silver Spooner.
Mhm.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
So they
was
started
fun.
off with Rick and Marty and the team in the war room meeting with Ian and Matt, and they were discussing the results of the Pathfinder water study.
Mhm.
And that wasn't that was kind of a repeat of the end of the last show.
It was,
almost,
yeah, a
wasn't
little
it?
bit. Yep. It was a little bit. And I think, and it's one of the things that I was talking about on that, when we discussed it last week, was that I do believe that this is really a significant thing. Some people are like, so they got some, some minerals in there. It's got some silver and some copper and some zinc in the water. And what does that really mean? What does it mean? And I'm saying, listen, you can look at Ian Spooner and look at his face when he's describing, and you see in his face how convinced he is that this is significant. And that just drew me right into the whole thing. What do you guys think about that?
Well, he's not I don't think it's in his character to talk something up.
He's a laird.
Yeah, he's a laird.
Yeah.
That's what we're describing him. It's not his character to talk things up without knowing the proof is in the pudding.
Mhm.
And he is not going to stake his reputation on just a TV show, so
No.
Absolutely. And
it was awesome.
But he had the phrase of the year.
Yeah.
Let's face it. He had the phrase of the year of the show before with Marty.
Oh, when he asked the question?
When he asked that, do you believe there's gold when we leave there's treasure in the money pit?
Yep.
And I mean really.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm serious.
To me, that was the quote of the year, right there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's funny. I put that on Facebook and I said, "Is this the moment of the season?" And Matty Blake replied. He said, "It could end up being the moment not only of the season, but of the moment of the last 2 centuries of searching."
Wow.
Big deal.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge.
Well, and to point out that he was after the fact, and he wanted to go back and check, right? It's time then to do samples of the sediment that's down there and those ones with elevated levels, right? So you want to see if what's down there is potentially contaminated or if it's some freak phenomenon that's happening within the soil that's causing it to leach. And the fact of the matter is it wasn't in the soil samples. So what that tells them is it has to be coming from somewhere else. It has to be coming from a Gerhard dump truck full of something of silver, whatever that happens to be.
Always, it makes it at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And the fact that it was found in those 3 drill holes and not the other ones. And all those 3 drill holes are right there and I thought, I do have a picture of it. And I promise folks, I'm not going to show a whole bunch of pictures tonight like I normally do, because it's more about having Dustin and Deidra here with us tonight. But I am going to bring up a couple real quick. Let me see if I can share this here. But I promise I won't be throwing a bunch of pictures. I don't have 100, like most nights.
99.
So, just 99, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, just what. So let me bring this one up here. And this one here was just talking about the parts per billion or whatever, and they were looking at, and I know it's hard to see there, but it's talking about the copper is the first line. Right here is the copper, and then they got the silver down here and then the zinc. Okay, so those were the 3 things that were very, very important to look for, because those were the materials that make up the copper or the silver coins or whatever of the day, of that day. And here was the map of, and this one didn't highlight the 3, but this was the map of the actual drill holes. And it was these 3 right here, which I think wasn't one of them C1, wasn't that one? Okay.
Yes.
See, so, you had one that was close to 10x, and then one from I think one of Dan's old drill holes.
Yeah, it was over here. It was well site or well shaft or well site number WS number 2, which is over here in the woods to the southeast of the money pit area. So it was this one, and then one was up here as Deidra said, and then this one right here, which was WS9. So it was these three, not the other ones. That was what was significant about it, because it wasn't the other ones. It was these three that are very close in proximity to each other. Now, as I had said before, if they would have found it in all of the wells around the entire island, now you don't have a case, I don't think, as well, to make a case that it's, it's silver that's in this area, because it's all spread around through every well site. But the fact that it wasn't, and I have that, there's Ian. Let's see, it must be, here it is here, this one here. So it was well site number 1, and you've got the copper, high levels of copper, the high levels of zinc, and then of course the trace of silver. 1, 2, and 9. And those were the 3 that were right near each other by the money pit. That's significant, and not in the other ones.
What about this trace of mercury? I mean, I was surprised by the fact, I don't know if it was the drilling down or what, that they were mentioning the mercury bottles or mercury flasks that were found
Hedden.
Yeah, by Hedden. And I just don't remember that. I'm sure it's been mentioned, but I was like, oh.
Yeah, but it's something they had heard over the years, over and over. I think, wasn't it Craig that was talking about it?
Most likely.
So it was just like another legend kind of deal, I'm thinking.
The only mercury I ever really heard of was that they put it in the chapel vault, maybe, to keep the paper from disintegrating.
Yeah,
I'd heard that before.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they haven't confirmed it. I just don't remember hearing that lore in particular. That's just myself, but I thought that was really fascinating.
I never heard it either. But I do like what you were saying a moment ago, that if they tested all 12 of those well sites and all 12 of them had similar composition, I mean, then it would be like,
they're everywhere. They're everywhere.
And it wouldn't be very special.
No, it wouldn't have been special at all. And that's the key point to this, is that they were only in those 3 well sites. The other ones had very small, under 100 parts per billion traces of, well sites 3 through 8, and then 10, 11, and 12 had just a very small trace of anything. But it was in the zinc as well. And then silver was not found anywhere except for 1, 2, and 9.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's significant. And if I remember correctly, and I don't have it handy here, but there was I had the map of the Behringer survey showing the green lines where they said that those shafts were, or tunnels or whatever. And I thought I'm actually headed down there towards number 9 in the woods, or not 9. It was number 2 that was over in the woods. I thought there was one of them. I'll have to see if I can find it as we go along here.
Was it number 2? Didn't they drill number 2 spot and not come up with anything though?
I don't remember if it was number 2 or not. You mean when they did like point Z or right? Yeah. I don't remember which. Wasn't that to the north? One.
I thought that was Behringer survey marker number 3. That was a little bit to the north.
Don't remember.
This other one, this WS2, I think is closer to the Behringer survey location. That was to the southeast. More toward Smith's Cove, but I don't know, if you look at the map, it's actually a bit south of Smith's Cove, so I don't know.
I'm looking for that picture because I had a picture. Oh, here it is. I do have it.
Cool.
Oh, I can't believe I found it. Oh, no, that one's not that good. Hold on. Sorry. Go ahead and chat along here. Well, I'm going to see if I can find a picture of the.
Yeah, I'm going through.
So we can't just get Steve with his map here.
I know. Where's Steve when you need him? Steve, come on, get over here.
Where are you?
Like he's going to show us anything. Come on now.
Put the Steve signal in the sky, like Batman. Like the GPS.
Is it a big
GPS stick in the sky?
GPS. Yeah, his RTK or whatever.
Yeah, and then he'll come, and he'll be like,
"I'll grab my GPS."
Yes.
Of course, he really puts up with us,
He does.
He's a good guy. He really does. He plays along so well with all the stuff, and he that's what makes it so much more fun, is that you can tease with him because he is such a good guy about it. It makes it more fun to.
What impressed me with that is that Marty was buying this. Marty is the one that you have to have the scientific facts for Marty to go with this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Marty's just not going to say, "Hey, it's just a fairy." I don't believe this fairy tale. Show me something As you said, show me something that happened before 1795, and I'll believe.
Well, they showed him a couple things.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a few.
I've got a graphic from the Behringer survey, and I'm just looking at. So site 4 is southeast of C1, and then site 2 is the one that is north, just kind of in the trees where they did the drilling. Yeah, point Z, if you will. And then
the other 2 are in Smith's Cove.
Yeah, the other 2 are in Smith's Cove. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Okay.
One in the water and one in the upland.
Yeah, the thing that I was looking at was this right here. Whoops, let me get my pointer on the right screen. This right here, down here in the very bottom in the middle of the screen, is that one. Looks like they were talking about these possible tunnels that were down there. And this right down here is, I thought that was really close to where the one well was found that they drilled in, and that's where they're now, if they're connecting that silver and zinc and copper found in this area in the money pit, and this is truly a tunnel that goes over here. Bam. I mean, that's where
absolutely. And then we see a tunnel that runs through C1 essentially, right? And we know that tested high. And then the next one, next sample was above the women's memorial, and we can't really see that there would be a tunnel running through there, but it project through.
Yep.
It's gonna be bad for Rick when they have to dismantle that.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I was thinking that too. I thought, what if they find out when they go to do the big dig? What if they find out that this the big dig is going to have to take place where the women's memorial part of that?
Well, you know what I told Dustin? Us women, you should just follow us. We know where it is.
Hey, on my phone, when I got the GPS on my phone, I have a woman telling me where to go. So right there,
smart man.
And she's always right, even though I argue sometimes and I want to go the other way. She is always right every time.
I just had Tony pop up in the chat.
Oh, did he? What's up, Tony? Hey there,
Tony.
Oh, Tony's here with us. All right.
Tony's here to see the sea shanty.
The Steve shanty.
The Steve shanty.
Tony's getting a Tony shanty eventually. We're working on some different shanties here.
Awesome. Yeah, we gotta share that too. Yeah, whenever you guys are ready, we can do that. So Tony's here.
We could do at the top, we could do at the bottom. Don't matter to us.
Yeah, let's see. Head and shaft was where I'm just reading some of the chat here. I believe from the head and shaft and was a broken pieces of flask that had traces of mercury. Yeah, and that was Linda that said that, and I wasn't that, like you said, I don't really remember them talking about that. I must have missed that along the way somewhere. But, and again, you think about what are the big uses of mercury would be, like, I guess, to preserve
documents,
parchment.
It was so many things in medieval times. It was makeup. It was skin lightening. It was to fill in chicken pox holes. It was a regular remedy to keep you from dying, and then it eventually kills you because it's poison. So it could be a lot of things.
Yep. Sad. And then they used it also, didn't they use it for isn't it used in the process of refining gold or something too? I thought
maybe.
Yeah. Refining gold. That's Susan Otterson just said that.
Okay.
This goes back to
and then I looked over and she said it too. So
this goes back to Francis Bacon too.
Yeah. I mean, mercury and quicksilver were used for so many different things.
Yeah, Tom Burns said Francis Bacon was supposed to have used it for preserving documents. Thank you, Tom. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I hadn't, when they mentioned that on the show, I thought, man, why don't I remember that clearly? I just don't. But yeah, so
mentioning Dustin quite a while ago. Geez, I can't remember where I read this, but they used to put documents into canvas bags coated in wax, or I guess you could coat them in mercury too to seal them, and then you would. I'm thinking of the lead seal on it, but then if you did that and then had the mercury, they would be very waterproof to preserve
Until you stick a drill in them.
Until
yeah, yeah, until you put the drill through them.
Yeah, the PI piece.
Pull off some stuff.
I'm sure that was one thing they punctured.
Well, they must have, because they came up with that piece of parchment that had the VI on it. So they punched through one somewhere along the way for sure. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and that's what Linda Simon said. Used for treatment for syphilis. Yep, I think there was somebody was just telling me about that he had to I don't even know if I want to go down that road, but he had syphilis and he was trying to cure it with using the mercury and yeah. Let's see. Okay, DXT Clue said mercury is natural occurring where rotten wood is present. Oh, is it? I don't know. That could be true. All right. Well, thank you for that. Oh, Tony, what did he say here? Remember the vanishing detector hits in the swamp in season 1?
Mm-hmm.
Could have been pooled mercury.
Very interesting.
Oh, now there's something I didn't know.
Mercury in the swamp.
Now, I didn't know that mercury would give you a hit on. I guess it would, because it's liquid metal, right? So it would give you a hit. Oh, I had never thought. That's really cool, Tony. That's thank you for sharing that. I never thought of that. I had no idea.
From season 1 is Tony finding that paved stone area, and then it's just like it was gone for a few seasons.
What we learned was we should have just followed Tony in the first place.
And Charles.
Charles and Tony know where they are. There's something similar between them.
They're almost like brothers.
Yeah, I'd say the brothers.
Yep.
I'm following Tony wherever he goes.
Yeah, I know. We've talked about the fact that I guess we're not going to be able to do it this year. We're going to have this huge. You mentioned it on your show the other night when you were Tony and going out for a pint. We're going to have. You asked him, how many boats do you have, Tony? Because we figured he's going to need 12. We're coming up with 12. He needs 12 boats.
Because I wanted to know how many would fit on each boat. In non-COVID.
There's a whole. We need a whole fleet.
Yeah, we need a fleet.
Yeah, we need a whole fleet to take everybody in both groups. We're gonna all of our members. We're gonna show up in Nova Scotia. We're gonna invade the place. Well, yeah, sorry. Right. And then we're gonna. I hope they got lots of tables and chairs outside the Mug and Anchor, because we're not all going to fit inside for sure. And they got lots of pints. We're going to have several pints. And I promised Tony I would buy them. Yeah. What's that?
Sing sea shanties on the way.
You see, yep. Yeah, Tony said he was up for a sea shanty for sure. That's funny. That's really cool. Yeah, you're going to need a bigger boat.
Gonna need an ark.
Yep. Yeah, definitely going to need an ark.
Well, you just bring it from the swamp and bring it up. I mean, after all.
Resurrect from the swamp. There'll be a couple of unicorns in there.
That's what I was about to say.
Let's go.
Deidre's not going to be satisfied unless there's unicorn bones in that swamp on that ship.
That's right.
I was laughing because I remember you guys were showing, you had on your group page, you brought up the two pictures of which one does the Moses the better.
Better.
And I could just see Stephen with his staff using his hand and raising the ark of using the force to raise the ark.
I voted for Aaron because he had the beard going and everything else.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was good. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Was it Galia pointed out that Moses had a brother named Aaron, and then like a sister named Miriam or something? And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, the connections are
they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Oh, Terry.
I'm looking at that button.
Yeah, calm down.
Look, where's that button? Find that button. That's great. Yeah, you were mentioning C1 was not contaminated, and he does not see how C1 could have contamination in it. Doug reminded everyone that the shiny gold thing was in C1, and that's exactly right. And man, I tell you what, right at the beginning of this season, what did you guys think when that diver was down there and he's digging away, and all of a sudden you see? Whoop, 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 whoop.
I recently went back and looked at those pictures, and I put them through some software to see if I could get a better look at what they were. And I mean, it looks so much like a coin. I was really surprised the more time I spent looking at it, and I just kept thinking that poor guy He is never going to live that down.
Oh, never.
You dropped the shiny gold thing that they've been looking for what? How many seasons now? When did they originally do the
15 C1?
But how about 220 years, buddy?
Yeah, exactly. You just blew 220 years worth of searching.
Yeah.
And if I was him, I'd say, okay, look, folks, I got to go deeper. I've got to go down, swim down there and go down to the bottom, because he wasn't even at the bottom. He was digging in the wall on the side.
Yeah. And they were trying to get, because there was shiny gold things. So he was trying to find other targets.
There were like 3 of them, if I remember correctly, or something like that.
Yeah, we cut that guy a little bit of slack. It's okay. I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
C1.
You're going down C1?
No.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think so.
Oh, I got to show the picture. There they are, all 3. Right there, and right there. Yep. The shiny gold objects in the wall. Now, I was thinking about that. I thought, why would they be in the wall? You know, I had trouble figuring why they would be in the wall like that. But I guess I don't know, the solution and everything, the solution channel going, I don't know, but that's not that's actually in the chamber that they found. And that's the other significant point about the whole thing with C1. When they did C1 back initially, they hit during the drilling of C1, the team encountered a 10-foot high void or chamber about 170 feet deep in C1. Yep. So there was definitely a chamber down there. So you can't put that up to anything else. I mean, why would there be a chamber down there? And I still think it's phenomenal to think that Dan Blankenship found the 10X chamber by dowsing
rods. Yeah.
That's phenomenal to me. And he knew, that's how much he was convinced of the dowsing being working, that system working, that he decided because of it that he was going to start putting his version of the caissons down there, which was the tank cars. I mean, he went to all that expense because of his dowsing, told him there was a chamber down there, and he was right. There was a chamber down there.
It's a technique that's still used by several people in the profession to find and drill wells now.
Yep.
I know you think it's hogwash, but it's done. I've seen it happen and seen the well, boop, there it be.
Yep. Yeah, I've not seen it done myself, except for watching somebody do it on TV, and I'm watching their hands because I'm looking to see if they're tilting their hands back and forth, like this to make the things move, and they don't. You don't see that happening. I don't know, but for him to go through all the years and expense that he did because of dowsing told him there was a chamber, and he was right. He was right. Now, and is it connected to everything else? We don't know, but
well, they're at what that C1 they said was 183 feet down, if I remember correctly. Dr. Spooner said when he did the water sample, it was 183 feet.
183, yep.
And they said there was possibly a tunnel going sideways from down at 183 feet. I thought that's very interesting. I'm sorry, that's.
Got to get a diver back in there. That's all there is to it.
In 10X?
No, not 10X.
Go there.
John Chatter did.
That's true.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, you're right. He would for sure. Yep. Yeah, and that, it's that's yeah. I wish he would have been the one that went back down when somebody said Butterfingers. I think it was Janet. I think Janet called the guy Butterfingers when he dropped that. But he's got gloves on, and you're underwater, and you're trying to hang on. I mean, I couldn't blame the guy, but. Somebody said it looked like mica. There was a piece of mica in the wall of it, but I don't know.
This is one of those stories that's a to be continued story.
Yep.
Yep. We'll see. They're going to end up airlifting it in order to get the shiny gold thing, probably at the beginning of the season.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yeah. There's a shot of Alex and Dr. Spooner putting down that little grab, going down there, and as you mentioned, getting a piece of that or getting a hunk of that. A grab full of the soil or the sediment that was down there, and then looking at that sediment and then deciding that there was no contamination within that sediment that had anything to do with it. That's not where the silver and the copper and the zinc was coming from. That it was definitely coming from. Yep. It was in the water for sure. Wouldn't that be so cool? I was hoping when I was watching this part right here, I was thinking, man, wouldn't that be so cool if they would actually come up with something, besides like a little coin or something. I was like,
What do
I
you
know
think
what.
the shiny gold thing came up in the sediment sample? It just like they used a claw from like a claw machine, that claw,
Yeah.
and they grabbed it and like got your shiny gold thing.
Yeah, I think I would. I think I'd spend, I mean, I'm sure many of the folks, our members and stuff would do it too, but I would spend my whole summer dropping that thing down, pulling it back up, dropping it back down, pulling it back up. I would want to know exactly. Just keep pulling up pieces. If they're not going to send the hammer grab down there anymore, then I'd do my little hammer grab.
It's a mini hammer grab. It's
The
fine.
mini hammer grab.
Jack, you'll be looking like Michael John.
Right?
Yeah.
Going to the show.
That was so cool that, it was first when they first introduced Michael John on the show, it was an employee of Gerhardt, and then later on it was treasure hunter. Now he is a treasure. That's what it says. And when it says his name underneath says treasure hunter. How cool is that? Right?
Yeah.
Upgrade.
Right.
You got promoted.
That's a huge upgrade right there. Now you're a treasure hunter on Oak Island. And I reached out to him. I actually, we're friends on Facebook now. We've chatted a little bit, and I've asked him about coming on. So one day, but he seems like a really, really cool guy. But yeah, what a treat now is that, that's the thing about, the other employees of Billy, that what an opportunity, right? I mean, man, here's your boss is going out on Oak Island and doing all this stuff. And you're like, man, I'd love to do that. And all of a sudden there you are, you're going through the spoils of H8 and all this kind of stuff. And then he finds that little, I was going to say cannonball. It was that little,
blunderbuss, grape shot, you want to call it. He found that the rosehead spike that had the cement on it.
Yes, he did.
He was digging up the legs for the cannon. He just kept finding things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Leather.
Yeah.
Then he pulled up the leather.
Yeah, I think he was there for the leather.
Yeah, he was at least there. That's right.
Yeah.
Like I've been telling Deidra since the beginning, like when we first saw a few Gerhardt employees, I'm thinking to myself, wow, so it's the pandemic and times might be hard, right now in Canada too, for like getting work. And Billy's probably keeping those guys employed by bringing them to the island, and having them work there. And anyway, that's in my mind, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, wow, that's super cool.
That is really cool.
That's
pretty cool.
And really, I think Aaron did the same thing with Marion and Liz.
Invited
to bring them over.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have found half the things if they had not had them over.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. And
Very
I've said that before too.
Yeah,
exactly. To bring them over. And that's the one of the other cool things, we've discussed about the fact that they're bringing so many scientists. You go back and you look at season 1 and season 2, when you see them out there on the island, just a couple people and a shovel and a backhoe tractor and stuff like that, and what it's graduated to now. But that shows you that how important this is to Rick and Marty and Craig is the fact that they brought the scientist in. They brought in the dreaded archaeologist, as Marty says sometimes, but they brought in these experts in these other fields. And then even going out and talking to Carmen Legg, who has vast amounts of knowledge when it comes to things made out of iron and steel and all that kind of stuff. But that, and bringing Miriam and Liz out on the island and stuff like that, it's just, you have to do those things. If you really want to get to the, and again, the data and the science, if you want to get to those things, bring out those experts. And that's exactly what they've done. And it just shows you how dedicated they are to this, to do that.
You see what Tony said in the
I just
chat?
saw that.
He says your first recovery makes you a treasure finder. Lots of treasure hunters, not that many treasure finders.
Yep, that's very true.
I like it. It's very true.
Yep, that is very, very true. Absolutely.
The rosehead nail head.
As much as they found at the end of the year in the money pit, this is the year of the swamp. I mean, it just blew everybody away.
Yep.
And Marty didn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, anything to do with it.
Let's think about last year, and we walked away in awe of this huge, what I call the 3D map. It was 3D. 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 It was 3 the swamp parking lot, right? That's back there. And now we've got a stone road.
More than that.
Oh, you know,
700 feet.
What did they call it last night? What
oh
did they call
yeah,
it?
the Oak Island. What he called the
Interstate.
Oak Island Interstate.
Hey, I've been saying that all season
She
without Steve knowing. I think Steve and I
Really?
are on the same wavelength. That's scary, but
It is kind of scary, actually.
it's a scary mind. But it's as soon as he said that, I was like, I've been saying that all season. But yeah, I agree. There's got to be multiple.
Well, they proved it. It goes maybe towards money. It's going toward the eye. We know it's going toward the eye of the swamp,
Mhm.
and they didn't really get there this year.
Right.
It goes along that one wharf, and I'm wondering when they get by the anomaly if they're going to run into it again.
Probably.
I mean, with all the different types of treasure or pieces of that they've found all over the island, and I think about all the different, let's say we've got a bunch of different roads. Now we have multiple burn features, you know, and then the weight that Rick came up with in the swamp. It's feeling more and more almost like a banking operation because you're having people come from all these different backgrounds potentially. Maybe they weren't all searchers. Maybe they were all there with a purpose, especially if in the swamp we're looking at how many different time periods, right? We have the 1200s, and then what dates do we have in the Stone Road? Now, if it's
15,
happening,
I think 1500s. I think it's 1500. They never really dated a lot of the Stone Road that I know that they didn't date it really.
it's just bananas.
Yep, it is. John 42 said, I'm willing to bet folding money. He's betting folding money here that there's plenty of other roads and paths waiting to be dug up. I think you're right.
I concur.
Yep.
And when they couldn't find artifacts, and then all of a sudden they got to a spot, the artifacts just exploded. You know, and
hit the north end of the swamp. We were saying, here's all the artifacts, right? They kept pulling up pottery and
Yep.
the ring bolt that came out like that.
Yep.
It was all strangely missing on the southern part of that road.
Yes, it was. That's right. And that's something that Aaron made a comment about, that how there was no artifacts that they found along the, other than a few little bits and pieces of coal that they found. But other than that, they didn't really find any artifacts on most of the first 400 feet of it until they got up toward the backyard of Nolan's house there. Yep.
Yeah, I wonder if that part is more ancient.
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so weird that they find all these, this whole, you've seen Rick showing Aaron many times, that the dustpan full of all these pieces of pottery. And it's like, man, were they just throwing all their broken stuff in an area? I mean, why is all that there in that one general area?
We found their garbage dump.
Possibly.
It could. Yeah. That's kind of what I was
well
thinking.
be.
Yep.
I think with the interstate, as we'll call it, I guess, for right now, it kind of makes you wonder what the rest of the island is like almost. I mean, where are we going?
All right.
I mean, we know the money pit, we know the eye of the swamp, but
Just heading toward the eye of the swamp. Yep.
But there's still more road that they have not figured out, I don't think.
Well, yeah, and remember at the beginning of the Therian, I'm just making up words now. Beginning of the season, we had Corian and Chris, and they had their two spots on either side of the swamp.
Yep.
Well, one with the giant hole that Spooner, went in and took the core out of. There was also
about Drow doing it when he went in.
A stone trench right there, and as Steve had said, it was projecting towards the paved area at that time, right? And then, what if that's not a trench? What if that's just another piece of a road, right? So this could be just way bigger than we had realized. Hey, Carmen.
Hi, Carmen. How you doing? Thanks for coming by. You have the number. You're welcome to call too if you want.
We're big fans.
Yes, we are huge fans.
Yes, we are.
Huge fans. You are a world famous blacksmith.
That's true.
Yes,
he's
it is.
probably
You know, I only worry about putting a copper dam in next year is if they decide to cut it in half, you know, just drain half of it.
That would kind of
Are
sad.
they going to wreck the road or a road that's there or anything else? How sure are they're not going to hit something? Like they didn't put the copper dam in before because of that.
Mhm.
Let's talk about, so I don't know if you grabbed a picture, but when Billy was digging at the southern end of the swamp, it took me a while to realize this, but when Gary was out there metal detecting, he's digging up the road.
Oh,
So I'm
yes.
assuming they were looking for artifacts or whatever it was, so they didn't put a cofferdam through, you know, something important, right? So
Right.
I thought those were just spoils on the road. But then there's a shot where you can tell he's literally, dug up the road itself. And it
Mhm.
looks like it's approximately where the most recent animation is of the coffer dam going in. So I'm willing to bet it's going to go there. And then Dustin pointed out to me, what was it, October,
I think 16th.
Yeah, we saw cofferdam material go across the causeway over what's the
Oak
other
Island from the other side of the causeway
Mhm.
from Karen.
So maybe it's hanging out there, ready to be cofferdammed right across the road there.
Mhm. Yep, I think you're right, and they need to and that's one thing that Jack has been talking about quite a bit. You know, he wants that anomaly dug up, and if they
Right?
do that, you know, they and that's the best way to do it. Really, I mean, is to put that cofferdam in, and then they can really get in there and excavate that area right out and find out exactly what that is. And I think it's absolutely imperative that they do that next season, that they get in there and do that and find out what that is, because they came across, you know, first they came across that piece of ship's railing, and then shortly after that they found, you know, shortly after they found the piece of ship's railing, then they went in and they were digging, and Billy there with his, you know, Billy's trowel, and
Yes.
he was banging along the side of something, and sure enough there is a beam down there, a large beam. So what is that? I mean, whether it's the stern of that ship or not, it's got to be excavated. You have to find out what that is. And of course, the season, you know, don't you hate that? Because it's always, oh, well, the weather's moving in. We only got a few days left. And it's like, and you just found
It was so it got too muddy on him to where he couldn't do anything. If I
everything was
remember
just slumping back in the hole, and it was just going on and on. It was just, it was just a mess at that point. But oh man,
Yeah, I just sent that to Jeff, the Oak Island from the other side of the causeway post.
Oh, did you?
Through Facebook Messenger. I don't know if you could do anything with it, but it shows the cofferdam material going across the causeway. And I'm thinking they have offloaded it and it's just waiting there, ready to be set up day one, hit the ground running when they get back. At least that's my
I'm bringing it up now. Oh, I see.
I mean, because they had a hard enough time, we knew there was a delay with Irving anyways, trying to get material up to them, right? Because we've been dealing with COVID now for a lot longer than we want to. But if you already know, they must have signed something that said, yeah, we're going to use that material. So let's leave it here and we can get started right away. That would be my guess. But
you know, I talked to Tom Burrs, who may be a member of your group also.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Tom.
I messaged him Monday night. I said, "What's it like up there?" And he came back and he said they had 143 new cases in Nova Scotia.
Really?
He says they have just started the lockdown, so you really can't you can't really take that number to heart, you know, all the way through it, because the lockdown hasn't proceeded, you know, to see if it knocks down. Now he lives in New Brunswick, where they have 13 cases only, and he says we're not locked down at all, but he still thinks that they are going to be ready by June to go.
That's, I mean, for them, because their cases have been so low. Like
compared to what we have,
right? And then all of a sudden now they're not.
For them is quite a bit, or I think you said 30.
But I thought I passed that along, because I did reach out to him Monday night just to see.
That said, yeah, we're gonna use. Whoa.
That was me. Sorry. I was flipping back to the feed. Sorry.
No, you're totally fine. But I know they've been in lockdown there, I think a week now.
Yeah, and
it's
they were
been about a
scheduled
week
for
now
2
so far.
weeks, if I remember correct.
It was scheduled for 2 weeks. I don't know if they've extended it or anything, but
Yeah, over in Portland, Oregon, across the water from us, they like closed down all the restaurants again and stuff, but they're open again today.
Washington, we haven't had any changes in our restrictions. They're just keeping us how we are.
Hopefully it stays that way for you.
Yeah. Well, it kind of started crazy here up in the Seattle area, so hopefully we can finish sooner.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, I think that's what I think COVID did more for them this year than what they realized, because they had to go to other places to get some work done. They couldn't get big equipment in there and everything, and everything. So the swamp was the place to go. The Ball Foundation was the place to go. You really couldn't do a lot with the money pit.
And more excavations in the swamp. I mean, I'd like they said on the show, I don't know that they would have found the road and been able to dig it all the way up around to Nolan's property and the eye and heading up in toward the money pit without this, without COVID happening.
I'm kind of thinking that they wouldn't have had Miriam. They probably wouldn't have had even Aaron. Liz wouldn't be there. Laird wouldn't be working in lot 25. I mean, they would have had all hands on deck, probably doing money pit, and they'd probably do some more in the swamp, because that's probably where they'd stick good old Laird. He'd be overseeing the swamp, because that's like more of a true archaeological excavation site than the money pit. It's a money pit. It's a big hodgepodge of people digging over the past 200 years. So it's not,
Did it seem to you that Laird spent more time doing research, and Aaron was the one really kind of leading the swamp as the year went along?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was super impressive.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
We love
and him and Marion working together were just a good pair to work together here. And Lisa and Laird, it's like they fit the two personalities just perfect to work together.
Yeah, they did. Yep.
I think my
but
favorite.
I will never in my life, when Brent takes a dig, and Marion goes, "No, you don't dig there. You dig over here." And that was one of my moments of the year. I thought, she knows.
Miriam, you're that. You're my hero. That was amazing.
I think my favorite part with Miriam and Aaron was when Aaron was like, well, back in the day, the archaeological director would just kind of sit up in a chair and everybody would bring him all their stuff they find. And she's like, not going to happen, Aaron.
But then she finds something and runs it right over to
him. It was so good.
Yes.
But I mean, it was fun to watch them both get her legs, and I mean, she knew her stuff anyway, but to find her place and to be in the war room and everything else.
She's out there delivering out stuff, telling them about everything. She's and that's so cool. Yeah, and she knows now. Don't be timid. If you got a suggestion, and she's smart. I mean, that's the other thing. She's so intelligent that it's like we want your opinion, and that's what's so cool about it. They do want her opinion. So that's what Carmen just said. Aaron is so down to earth, humble fella, real John. Yep, that's the way we see him on the air. And I've had him on my show, you guys, and he's just very down to earth. He's coming on. I'll have him on Saturday. He's going to be here with me on Saturday, and we're going to get a chance to really dig into all of season 8 and everything that he's been involved in. So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to that one.
He did get his sweet cheese this moment, and it took the last week, but he got there.
This was kind of the year of the trowel.
Yes.
It was. That's a very good point. That's I like that. The year of the trowel. Absolutely.
You want a trowel?
Oh, whoops! Did you hear that?
Do you want a trowel?
Laird, he's a happy man.
Laird's ready to pass him out.
And you know what? Rick is really looking team trowel right now.
I know. You're right. He is.
He loves it.
Mm-hmm.
He does. Like, it's a little treasure hunt, and he's like, "Oh!" and he gets all excited. And
I think Rick is the one that's there, and Marty and Craig are more back and forth when they're in Michigan, and that had to be hard because you have to quarantine each time you go and come back.
Yeah,
I would think you would have to quarantine the whole time.
Yeah, it's tough business, tough process, but they got to do what they got to do for the fellowship.
That's right.
That was a thing that too that they had said, wasn't it 1 more inch or something like it? What was it? What one
Just
more?
an inch over to the left or
Yeah,
whatever.
a
And he's like,
little
yeah,
more.
that's what you keep telling yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Keep telling yourself because that's what keeps you motivated to doing it.
Right.
And I grabbed this picture because who else do we got over here? Who's this guy over here? How many times have we seen him with a trowel, huh?
Thank you for bringing that up because I was trying to pull a clip, but there's a point. Charles is digging, right? And he sees something, and I swear he puts it in his pocket.
He does.
He straight up picked it out of the ground, and I was like, "Did nobody see that?
Keeper of secrets.
What did he just put in his pocket?"
I did not catch that. I'm gonna have to go back.
Oh.
You guys go back and watch. We're gonna put this up to our members now. Somebody's
Mhm.
gonna have to go back and get that clip and post it on our pages here so we can see that and
Yeah.
see what he did. What did he get? Did he playing around in the mud? That was Graham.
Shortly before Rick finds the weight or whatever, and he had shoved in his pocket. And as Rick's trying to pull it out, he keeps going, "What do you got? What do you got?" Like he won't let him pull it out. So he's so excited.
That goes back to when they went to Carmen, if you remember.
Hmm?
And they had that bubble wrap.
Mm-hmm.
What was in that bubble wrap that they didn't show?
Oh, I know. Yeah. See, that was the other thing. When they were, I had pointed that out. Then they went to see Carmen, and they had something in the bag, and they were showing him, and Carmen was looking at it. And the whole time, I think it was Doug had something wrapped up in bubble wrap. And at the end of the show, at the end of that segment with Carmen, he's holding this thing in the bubble wrap, and he takes the bag and stuff with him. But we never saw what was in that bubble wrap. What was in there?
Sneaky.
Yeah, see, Carmen's here. Maybe he can. Well, I don't know.
I don't think he can. But
No,
I mean,
I can't talk about it. Yeah, Carmen
that
knows.
one might be for next year. Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, Linda said
It's kinda
Carmen
like,
knows.
It's like the mystery of the Tootsie Pop. The world may never know.
Yeah, the world may never know. Isn't that so true?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And there was Aaron and Miriam. They were digging away over there and having a good time. And I think there was that one when we jumped over to Gary.
Yep.
But anyway, they found that little piece of that. I'm gonna jump out of here and find that other picture. But they found that. There was the picture of the pottery. All the pottery pieces that they found. I thought that was pretty cool. But they just
kinds.
Yeah, I know. So many different types. And this was kind of neat. I grabbed that picture.
Creamware, yellowware.
Yep.
You're aware. I'm aware. All the
Tupperware.
things.
Probably some
Tupperware too.
Yep. And let's see. Oh, I don't know why I got that picture. It doesn't really show anything. It must have been a misclick. And there it is, right there. The little jewel of a find.
That was really cool.
That was so cool. And I know when I first saw it, is he? Oh, I just got a message here.
Ooh.
Whoa. Dun, dun, dun. What was in that bubble wrap? Look at that.
Yeah,
Wood.
I think I know what it was because they had two artifacts that were almost the same kind of thing. And then I remember that too. I'm like, well, they only got one tested, or they only showed us the results of one.
Yeah,
I don't remember what it was though, but I remember what you're
I
talking
think it was
about.
the ring bolt, wasn't it, that they showed?
Yeah, it was the ring bolt that they were showing.
Yep. And he had something wrapped up in bubble wrap, and we didn't get to see it. Wood. Could it be? That was Bookie's.
Always. It might be. It probably is.
Yeah. Yeah, so they that little piece that you're showing on the screen there, they had to get it X-ray fluorescent analyzed.
Analyzed.
Yep.
XFT or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
XRF.
Yes.
XR. I actually rent those. The company I work for, we rent those.
Okay, I definitely thought you were kidding there for a second.
No, we actually rent those things. Yeah.
Is that stuff, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep. So that it was funny because when I was watching the show last night and he was showing that, as soon as he said it looks like there's a number on the end, and they said something about a 5. As soon as he said that, I went, "Oh, that's like those little weights you put on a scale to weigh out stuff." And sure enough, I really do believe is what that is.
Yeah. It looked like there was even like in the top of it, like a little hole or something where like the you'd have like a little knob on it that would have
Yeah.
come off, right? Like the weights would have had, which would explain why the weight would have been slightly off.
Mhm.
It's sitting and corroding. But
Very cool.
I don't know if I had another. Oh, there's the XRF going. That's the actual. That's the actual. Pew, pew. That's the actual one that, just like the one we rent right there.
It's cool.
Yeah, those things are pretty phenomenal, but they emit radiation, so you have to be very careful with them.
I guess you can go back to a couple different countries, but see, for me, I go back to Templar a little bit with this.
Well, those go back.
Because that would be something maybe that they would use
Mhm.
when they would take money, before they went to the Holy Land or something like that.
Mhm.
made me think of banking. That
Yes.
was kind of what
Templars would have used it in the banking process, and they go back. If you read in the Bible, they're in the Bible. They talk about using. That's one of the things about they had scales and they weighed it in. And then one of the things was in the Bible they talk about people cheating and having their weights being lighter or whatever. It would be off. The weight would be off, and it wouldn't be true. And that's how they would cheat by that. But so they go back. Oh my gosh! Before they go back into the BC. All the way back. Yep.
long time ago.
Before Charles.
Yes.
Before Charles.
Before Charles.
Exactly right. Yep. You're exactly right.
The one thing I was going to ask you guys about that I haven't thought about before, this stone road, when they were in the war room at the end of the year, Aaron said that it took a lot of people to build this stone road. And my first thought was it maybe one nation or was it two nations? Did somebody start one and then somebody didn't see it or it was covered with water and they started another one and there it went? So I'm kind of curious where you come down on something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think it was even mentioned on the show. I think Aaron might have mentioned that on the show, and I have to ask him about that on Saturday. But he said something about that it could have been that they found the road, and then somebody added onto it. And then that was one of the things about the show that people are like, some people are wishy-washy about the whole road thing. They're like, so what? So what, a road in there? But if you look at where it came across. And if it would have been some sort of a wharf at one time, extending out, and then it turned and went and it followed the higher level of going back to the other thought that if it was two islands and the swamp was originally full of ocean water at one point, okay, even if it was just a triangle and it got shallower and shallower up towards Nolan's, the road where it crosses up on the north side. But they followed the eastern edge where the higher ground would have been all the way along there. So if it was full of seawater at one time, that would have been the road along the edge of it, tracking along the edge. So, and I think that's what, and again, Aaron kind of alluded to the fact that, it could have been a road that somebody else,
Sure is right.
Now we know. See, that's what's so cool about having you guys here. I just love the fact that Tara said, dun, 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 it was the wooden square. Look at that.
Oh, cool.
See, and they hadn't revealed it to us yet at that point.
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Man,
so they were waiting.
Trading cards for guessing that.
Okay.
Yeah, Tara's going to have to get a prize for that. So, I don't have any prizes. I don't know. I got half a bottle of wine over here.
We got prizes.
Sharing is caring.
She plays Oak Island Trivia.
That's
we can get her
right.
a prize.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. I came in third not too long, 2 weeks or last week, not this week. I did terrible. I was so happy. I came in third. I was like, yeah.
It's not easy sometimes,
I tell you what. Yeah. Oh, especially with Steven's questions. I mean, come on, really? All those numbers, and was it
him?
Was it true that he only gave you the correct answer and you had to make up the rest of them?
I had to make up I was like, okay, no big deal. I'll make up all the fake answers, right? So it's fine. I'm good at making choices.
There was all those sea levels and all that kind of stuff and the different. Yeah, you did a good job with that. I got to say, right?
But I have to admit, I think he thinks of you when he names those numbers of boreholes just to drive you crazy.
You bet. I bet you they sit around that table. They're like, you want to see someone go crazy? Let's do this. Very publicly. And she's going to go on a rant. And this crazy girl. Yeah. I mean, I like to think that they think and talk about stuff on the island, but they'd be like, hey, let's see if this messes with Deidre's head. But, probably not, but we can go with
Steven
that.
would. Steve would. He'd definitely be doing that. He's all about that.
25-9.75.
Yeah.
I love the overhaul.
Yep.
I know you've had I think you've had Laird on. And Laird's a good interview. He's more of a dry sense of humor, but
yeah,
I'm always as Deidre said, I call him Downer Laird.
That's
sometimes.
Right. No, we've had Laird on, we've had Steve on, we had them together for pre.
Yep, I had them on together.
Game, and then we actually have Laird coming back on Monday.
Yep, next Monday.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a good show. You guys got to check that out. That's going to be a good one right there. Laird's awesome. I think
he's a blast.
He is. He really is. All of them are. Every one of them.
Someday.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'm going to have Carmen's going to have to come back on. I'm sorry, Dustin. I was talking over you there. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. I just said we'd love to talk to Carmen someday. We've never been able to get a hold of him.
There you go. He's right here.
Hi, Carmen. Big fans, really big fans.
Yes, we are.
He was a good interview. He was another one that teased us because I forget what we asked him about, Jeff. And he got this big smile on his face.
Yeah, he did.
And he just says, I can't tell you, but you gotta watch the show.
Yeah, you gotta watch the show.
He had that smile like, I can't do it, but I can give you a tease.
Yeah. And there was also a thing where we were talking to him that there were several. Oh, I was talking about the beard. He had the beard going because it was during the winter months, and then he was all more clean shaven on the show and stuff. But yeah, that was great. Just talking to him was so phenomenal about everything that he's involved with over there, and all the the farm and everything that they do, and the reenactments, and showing. I was talking to him about the fact that my mom was involved in a heritage society up in Michigan, and they had a blacksmith shop and an old school and an old house and a log cabin that they had moved onto the property and everything and all the stuff. And I was working in the blacksmith. Well, not working. I went in the blacksmith shop and was working with some of the guys that were in there training. And I got to, he started showing me how to do some of the stuff. And we made these little leaves, and we made a couple little decorative pieces, and he walked me through. It was just fascinating. I love to have my own forge, and if I could find the time.
No big deal. I mean, they keep finding them on the islands, so
yes,
apparently you just have one wherever you please.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I want to know what you two thought of the Ball Foundation. I mean, I have been hot on this. I have been cold on. I've been all over the board. If you understand what I'm saying. And I don't quite know what to make of it.
I think it's the foundation. I think Samuel Ball lived there. I think he has a large cellar. I think they've uncovered a lot, though. Like, we hadn't heard from Laird a lot of the season. And then I was telling Dustin, like, before it aired, I was like, we're going to end up just back at the Ball Foundation, and the whole thing's completely uncovered. And sure enough, we go over there, and they've done a lot of work.
Oh, they've done a ton of work in that place. Absolutely.
Yeah, when we talked to Laird, he said that is his specialty. It's his
happy place.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That kind of situation is his happy place, 100%.
Yeah, because that's his expertise, is the Black loyalist, and so for him, he's got a really keen interest in it.
That's a very good point. Yep.
I'm excited to talk to him about that and the work there. And
yeah, but I'm really happy that Rick and Marty are still into it and trying to figure out what's going on there, because I'm thinking to myself when they're talking to Laird and they're like, well, what's going on? What's the progress? What are you going to do next? And I'm thinking oh my gosh, Laird's just going to have to make something up oh, I found this thing here, so that he gets to keep doing it, but no.
Alex found the button. It's fine. We're good.
Yeah. But no, that's not the case. They're still going to let him do the stuff, which was great. So it's just I was like, oh my gosh, because I don't want him to have to pull Laird out of there when it's his
I know.
happy place.
He's probably still there. He's probably sleeping in the cell.
Yeah, he probably is. He's still there digging right now in the IC. Let's thought out.
Yeah. They don't show you what's under the trapdoor because that's where Laird's at right now.
Yeah, that's what somebody was just asking. Marilyn was asking about the trapdoor, and I don't think it was a
Laird's
trapdoor.
cot is under the door.
You see what Carmen Lake said in the chat? He said that blacksmith was considered the first magician.
Oh, snap.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yep.
We have a historical blacksmith site thing in Vancouver down at the fort where they do like reenactments and sweet stuff. We should really go check that out sometime. It was like the 4th grade last time I was there. That was just a couple years ago.
Many moons ago.
A couple of years ago. Yeah, it's
fine.
Yep. So yeah, I don't think there was any. I think that I was saying, and I don't know because they never really talked about it again. But that door that they found laying in the dirt there that Laird had uncovered, I think it was a door like to the cellar that had just simply fallen in there and then got covered up with dirt over the years.
Trap door. That's where his cot is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Hey, and what about them ice holes?
The ice holes, dude. I want to know more.
I know. Didn't Steve and Laird tease you about the ice holes? They were going to come back this year and then nothing.
What jerks?
Maybe that was what Steve was doing out in the water. Remember, he was up to his ankles or up to his knees.
Yeah, no, he was marking the
Barringer survey was when he was in the water, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But in the pregame, I said I wanted to get Steve's. I had asked him about the ice holes, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know if we can say anything about that." And I'm thinking, "Where's my ice holes, man? I didn't see them."
Yep. Let's see. Oh, what's this here? Let's see. My guess is either part of the flood tunnel system or natural springs or vents. There you go. There's your ice holes.
Could be.
That or the
he would know better than us.
He would know better.
He would know better than us. You're exactly right.
I would like to see him dive again there by the swamp down by where those wharves are, possibly down there too, to see if they can connect back in. They did go down to one time and they didn't have real good weather to do it with.
Mm-hmm.
And he got a bunch of hits off the one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But they never really. They jumped from there to the ball property to go diving, and I'm sure that's going to be on for next year also.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish that when Tony went down there looking for things, he was allowed to move some things to get a better look at some things, right. Because he's kind of has to stay hands off.
Literally has his hands tied.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And from what he said when he talked to us, it's like pulling teeth to get a permit to go down there and do something like that. Exactly. They have a 1970. It's a 1970 law, and I can't remember what they call it, that says that they are real tight on something like that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the
rules.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying you got to play by the rules, or else they won't let you do anything, right? So
yeah.
Exactly right. And you heard that comment that Gary had made at one time. He said it was during the making of, I believe, and he was saying that Laird has given us permission to come out and metal detect on the ball property. So Laird's in charge of that. That's his baby. He's in charge of it. He's been granted that through the permitting that he has to be there for that. So, and he granted, Gary the ability or the permit to come out and actually, or not permit, but actually let him come out and do this metal detecting. And then you've heard him say too that, he's come out and he said, Laird, we've got a hit here. Can we dig this up? And he's like, yep, go ahead. So, that he's running the show. He's absolutely running the show.
I think he also said that Laird could get the hit, but Laird couldn't dig it up. That's why there was always two people. That's why there was always two people there.
I always wondered about that because you always see somebody else digging.
And I think it was Laird got promise to say, yes, he can do the hit, but somebody else has to dig it up.
Somebody that's part of the team. I don't know. Do you guys know anything about that? You always see somebody else digging for.
Speculate, but I'd probably be wrong.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too. What Jack had just said that it has something to do with being part of the Oak Island team, but then that Gary is part of the team. So I don't know. I'm not sure how that plays out. Maybe somebody else knows it. Has more information about that than I do for sure. But
I thought that's what I heard. I could be.
Yeah,
I've been wrong before. I'm sure I'll be wrong again.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, me too, for sure. I wanted to. There was one other neat little trinket that they found, and this is Billy in his eyes. Man, he spots this stuff. And he was talking about what he had in his bucket. Now was he the one, or was it Doug or Charles that found the other piece, the railing? But this was that piece of wood that they found while they were digging in the road, and it was well down below the road material. They were down into the virgin soil underneath it, and they found this piece of wood. And as I kind of mentioned before, these pieces of wood can float in. Yes, they can float in from the ocean and get deposited. But the fact that they are so deep in the dirt, just like the one somebody was saying, well, that piece of railing could have floated in from anywhere in the ocean. Well, that's true. It could have. But the fact that it was, I think, what was the depth of it? I mean, Stephen had put his GPS in that hole that Billy was digging, and it was
9 feet, I want to say, or something like that.
9. Well, it was 9 feet below sea level or something like that. I forget how deep it was now. But because of that, it's been there for a long, long time. And if it did float in, it floated in a long time ago. It wasn't something that happened recently.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yep. And the same thing with this piece of wood right here.
Deidra was noting Billy's skills by shaking out everything that was in that scoop, except for the piece of wood. Like he held on to the piece of wood.
Yes. That man is a master with that thing, isn't he?
Here, look, there's something in here.
I got everything else out for you. Just grab it.
And sure enough, Gary peeks his head around and it's like, oh, yes, there is.
It's a piece of
look at that.
And it just helps my ship theory that much more.
Yep.
But I think he's cold blooded because I've only seen him in long pants one time.
Yeah. And there was snow on the ground then.
Yeah.
No, it's got shorts, a lightweight jacket, and then you look at Steve and Gary standing out there, and they both have like 3 jackets apiece, and who knows how many layers under that.
Right.
And I'm like,
hey, I'd be just like Billy.
I know.
I'd have a coat on, but shorts. That's what I prefer. Oh man. I seen him in pants one other time.
Yeah, and everybody was shocked
when he got that award.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, he won some kind of a Nova Scotia filmmaker award.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
And he was in a tuxedo.
That's right.
Wow!
Recognized it.
I'll try to find it to you.
We needed film at 11 for that. I mean, after all,
it might have been just a suit. I don't remember actually. It was either a suit or a tux.
I think it was a suit, most likely.
Yep. There's another shot of the weight, or what we're calling the weight. Looks like there might have been some kind of some kind of markings on it or something. But there's that hole you were talking about. I think.
Yeah, it's got quite the details in the top. So
yeah.
Yep. The rounded edges. So it's definitely that's definitely what that is.
Yeah, it seems very.
And here's a little picture showing how it would have been used for weighing. A scale for weighing out gold or silver or whatever it may be, but that's exactly what it would have been used for. So, yep.
The other thing that was kind of Templar related was that it had the 4 on it. It looked like lead. The lead on the bale.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's very interesting find as well. That was really cool. And I don't think we've heard exactly where they found that, where they got, because they were looking to see if they could figure out who it was. Because each one of those has a particular, they said even the father will have one, then the son takes over and he'll make some changes to it or whatever. And then he'll add to it. He'll add his little piece to it or whatever. So, and that 4 at the top, he was saying something about it being maybe a religious symbol or something.
Mm-hmm.
Was it like
the sign of the cross?
Yes, exactly. So that was very cool. I'd love to see him be able to nail down exactly what that's all about.
They were going to send that out like they did the Light Cross, if I remember correctly, to that guy in Germany.
Yeah, for the laser ablation.
Because Laird could only give like a 1,300 to 1,800, I believe. I think that's what his date range was.
Broad range.
Yeah.
Thanks, Laird.
I know. They do that. They don't give quite that broad all the time. You just wish they could narrow it down to 50 years sometime or something, not 100, 125 or something like that.
At least he'll be correct.
Yeah.
Can't be wrong.
Can't be wrong. Well, we got about 20 minutes or so to go. I usually try to keep this to about 2 hours because everybody gets tired of sitting around listening to me jabber around. But now they got the treat of having you guys listening to you guys.
Oh,
This
Go
is
on.
enjoyable. I
floating me down.
We sure did.
Yeah. So we'll play your little thing here in just a second. I want to see this. I want to see the shanty happen here pretty quick. So I'll just kind of wrap up with some of the pictures that I had, which are anyway, the collection. Now, last year at the end of the season, we found a very wonderful collection of all the stuff that they've laid out on the table, which I thought was absolutely so cool that they laid it out with the timeline of all that stuff. And here we got to look at where they found particular things. Of course, the wooden stakes, and then the this thing here, this piece of wood here, that's that piece of railing that they found. It I think is absolutely significant.
So cool.
And then of course the square.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yep.
The
And
one
here-
thing I think you should realize that I did not realize until they said it. I think Steve said it. They found 700 items this year, I believe it was,
yeah.
and that's 50% more. They only found 350 the year before.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, the year of the COVID right there.
Well, not only it was the year of the swamp. I think the swamp had a lot.
The
to
year
do
of the
with it.
swamp. They found more things in the swamp, I think. Yeah. And they didn't even show us. I mean, they don't have all the little pieces of pottery they found and stuff. But yeah, there's that shiny gold thing they kind of teased us with. That was kind of
Tease us with that.
yeah,
Sneaky.
that was a nice tease. But yeah, so those items that they found in the axe heads and things like that, that was really cool. And that little piece of like a stove or something, that potbelly stove piece that was there.
Oh, yeah.
And of course the ring bolts. And that was neat to hear Carmen describe the difference between a ring bolt and a eye bolt, or I think is that what he called it? A ring. The ring bolt had a actually loose ring that would have been in it in the circle at the top, and then the other eye bolt, or what I call it, an eye bolt, like that one here on the bottom of the picture. This would have been a solid. There would not have been a ring inside of it, so there was a difference between the two. So.
One was wood, and one was metal, if I remember correctly.
There's them, and then the pieces of the cannon, leg parts, and that was really cool because we had some pictures when we saw that, and some people were like, "Cannon? How do you get a cannon out of that?" Well, I actually brought up some pictures that you could tell that little shoe or little foot at the end of it. This one right here, you could see there was pictures that had one that looked just like that. I mean, so it was pretty clear. What that was. Somebody was asking, who was this with their hand on the table right there, where you can see the Masonic ring on his finger right there.
Charles.
Money pit finds, a few things that he found that steel, or that was actually a stone, wasn't it? That piece of stone, that ball, the musket ball, whatever.
Yeah, the musket ball.
Yeah, very
Just
cool.
a few of the pieces at the Ball Foundation, and then lot 1415, which was cool. Yep. So
A lot of ox shoes.
yeah, there's that map showing of all the finds on the island. We're trying to zoom in and look at some of these and see the names of pieces, things that were found, but it's pretty
fuzzy.
tough. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was just hard to do
Parts
that.
would zoom in just a little, and I'm like, okay, I can get some of that and some of this, and they're
Yep.
just messing with me.
Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely, making it tough on you. Yep. There is the part of the interstate.
Mhm.
And that was really cool. This is the kind of thing that really interests me so much, is the being able to see all this laid out like this. The work that Steve does. You think that Steve just walks around, hey, come over here and GPS this. Hey, come over here and GPS this. But that man collects so much data and then goes back and compiles it all together, and then is able to put things together like this, and pinpoint all the things like the ox shoe found here, 1919 British coin, unknown metal, iron nail. I can read some of this stuff on here. Wood mason's tool. So 1632 to 1682. So you can see the dates on here. This map alone right here is a treasure trove. I'm telling you.
Yep. I'd like to put a pedometer on Stephen Guptill for season 9, so we can all just like guess how many steps that guy takes a day, because like, the way he's running that money pit.
I'm gonna guess it's 30,000 plus.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you just go between the money pit and the swamp. I mean, after all.
Yeah.
Not long strides though, so maybe it's a little less.
I don't know. They work like between 8 and like 15 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say there's probably a few days he does 30K.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh yeah, for sure. One of the last one I wanted to show too was this one here showing that road. They were showing this path, and this is something that we saw in lot 15 when Gary, I think it was Gary and who was
Gary
out there?
and Jack.
Jack Begley, right? And they were finding those ox shoes going along, and they were following. And Gary said during that thing, he said, "This is a path. We're following a path right here." And now there it is laid out, and they showed this thing going all the way up lot 15. What is it? To the Pine Tar Kiln area, I guess.
Yes.
Well,
Really cool.
the Chinese coin was found there, copper disc, things that we didn't see. A pitchfork, we never saw that on the show, but of course,
harmonica reed. I literally said out loud, I was like, a harmonica. Let's see here. Square nose, a linchpin. That's a little bit further up. Sorry, I'm looking at a picture that's further up the path. There we go.
Yeah. Harmonica reed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's really fun.
It is. That's so awesome that they found all this stuff and tracking it like that. And that's where Steven comes into play right there to say, and then you see it. It's a road. There's definitely a road right there.
Without a doubt.
And I was talking to a friend of mine, a coworker, Joe, and he had said something today. He said, what is one of the cool things about what they've done over the course of season 8 was they're laying out exactly what the island looked like back in the 1600s by what they're doing here. And I thought that's a really good analogy of it, because they are the road in the swamp and all the stuff. They're showing us exactly what would have been there, or what, things that were there back around the 1600s. And I think that's phenomenal.
And the road, you can say roads. I mean, I don't think they've gotten out of the swamp yet with the road. I just don't
Not
think.
really.
No.
They're in uplands and projecting. But
they're following it toward
Just can you think of this? Think of Fred Nolan looking down right now and going, "I told you so."
Yeah, I told you so. Yeah, that's what Tom said. Tom said that. He says, "Yep." He'd be saying, "What do you think Fred would be, or your dad would be saying?" Right? He goes, "I told you so."
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you're exactly right. So anyway, so that's good stuff. But it's and then of course the parting shot of and I had the one parting shot real quick of leaving the island for the last time for the season.
And everybody's like elbow bumping, and it felt so different from last year, where it like ended with hugs, and I was like,
and not everybody was there because they were all different in different places.
Yep.
I mean, that would have been one packed war room with everybody there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yep.
I know we touched on it earlier, but that heartfelt brotherly love, man, so good. Giving his brother all the credit, saying, you brought it up earlier, Jeff, saying, if it were up to me, we wouldn't have done any of this. And look what you've accomplished this year with your leadership, Rick Lagina,
Yeah.
And then Rick tearing up because he feels the weight of it all, and he knows that it's basically his responsibility to keep it going forward. And they accomplished so much. It was a beautiful moment.
It was, and the rest of them applauding and everything else at the same time. Also, it's amazing how they get along and work together so well.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, that's very true. And I just brought this up that Carmen said, wish I knew which way the shoes were oriented in situ. I could have said which direction the loads were being hauled. Wouldn't that be something to know?
That would be so cool.
We have video footage somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yep. Onshore or offshore? Which way were they going with those loads? Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
We love your knowledge, Carmen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you what, you are definitely one of the, even though, I guess being a blacksmith, they wouldn't consider you a scientist, but I consider you a scientist. Your knowledge that you have for these things.
Historian's a good term.
Oh, yeah. There you go. That's a good one right there. Yeah.
Magician.
Thank you.
I like that.
Yes, that's exactly right, Dustin. Ding, 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 ding.
Right.
Right.
On the head.
He is a magician for sure. That's absolutely right.
Magical. So.
Yeah, he is, quite honestly. All right, I gotta see this thing. I gotta see this thing. Let's see the Stephen Shanty. Are you ready? I'm gonna bring it up.
I don't know if you noticed. He was brought to Oak Island to mark and tag the finds of men. He headed to the swamp and said, with GPS I go. Oh, oh, Oak Island show, scratching and digging for silver and gold. Oh, oh, Oak Island show, searching for treasure they go. He was brought to Oak Island to plot and chart all of the land. He went to Smith's Cove and he said, with GPS I go. Oh, oh, Oak Island show, scratching and digging for silver and gold. Oh, oh, Oak Island show, searching for treasure they go. He was brought to Oak Island by the mob from Michigan. He went to the money pit and he said, with GPS I go. Oh, oh, Oak Island show, scratching and digging for silver and gold. Oh, oh, Oak Island show, searching for treasure they go. Oh, oh, Oak Island show, scratching and digging for silver and gold. Oh, oh, Oak Island show, searching for treasure they go.
I'll grab my GPS.
The Steve Shanty. That's awesome, man. Oh,
That's
good job.
beautiful.
I never knew you could sing so well.
You know what? I didn't even try that hard. That was literally the first take. And I said, it's good enough.
I was like, okay, I'll put something to it. I woke up. He's like,
Oh.
you gotta hear this. I just wrote a sea shanty about Steve. I went, you did what?
It took me about 10 minutes.
That's awesome. That is good. Now you got to do one for all of them. Now, Carmen's going to get his. You got to do one for Carmen.
I've already written the second one. It's not easy to do. So
Yeah.
Oh man. So who's that one about?
That's on his. So
Did he?
yeah, to which music to do it to.
Okay.
So we'll be looking into that.
I have to look into it. Don't know. Yeah, like I don't know much about sea shanties. I just know they're kind of fun and they're kind of trendy right now. Like some people are really into it, and so I thought it'd be kind of funny, and it was.
Yeah, it was great. That was awesome. Man, oh man. Yeah, each one of them
Yeah,
are
you're
going now.
right.
Release it on Spotify. That's funny.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
a professional singer. It's just a fun, dumb thing, and it was good.
We do a lot of fun, dumb things.
No,
Oh,
well, we do too. I mean,
Yep.
if you can't have fun doing this show, why
no.
are you doing it? I mean,
Yep.
you know.
Exactly
There
right.
you go. Hit the nail on the head. Yep.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed that.
Now you're
That
gonna have
was
it.
great.
stuck in
I
your
can't wait to
head.
see the next one.
It's been stuck in my head all day. Like literally, that like while we've been chatting, I've just been going
I
like this
know.
sometimes because it's just I just hear it in my head.
And I look at him because I know that's what's happening. Like,
It's been now it's gonna be stuck in all your heads. Ha ha.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
right.
can see it now. Yeah, it's gonna be
Every
stuck
time
in
I
my
go
head.
to your show and I see you, I'm gonna think of that. You know,
Yep.
it's gonna be the back of my
Well, it's
mind.
funny because my my boys and I got a couple of I got 4 boys and 2 of them are in their 20s, late 20s, and we were playing a game called Sea of Thieves. We were all playing the game Sea of Thieves together. Yeah. Oh, you like that one? So and you can do that. You can get your instruments out. So when we're on our way somewhere on the ship, you know, we're all playing our instruments, and that's one of the. There's a little a shanty like that going on. Yep.
We just got a comment from Tony too down there, Jeff.
Yeah, I just put it up on the screen here. Yep. Yep.
Well done,
Nate.
Nate.
Yep.
What?
So we got to
Yeah.
get who's give us the tease.
Check it out.
Give us the tease. Who's the next one about?
I don't know. You'll have
These
to wait
are,
until we do our
All
next.
right. Well, folks, you saw it here first. We debuted the first shanty of the Steve Shanty, and we'll have to tune in to Could It Be Oak Island podcast to catch the next one to find out where the next one is.
Probably pretty negative.
no, it's okay, kind of, but not really.
Well, who's our next interview?
Laird.
Negative Nevin. Oh, I've said too much.
Yes, you have.
Oh, he's the crusher of dreams. That's the guy.
I
your
think
dream?
Deidra had me pegged with that one there. So
Yep, he's the crusher of dreams. He comes
Crusher
along,
of
everybody's
dreams.
thinking, "Oh, this is fantastic! This is fantastic!" And Larry goes, "Yeah, it's a lipstick case."
but he's pretty good on an interview because he's got such a dry sense of humor.
Yeah, he's great.
And
Yeah,
all of a sudden you're going along and something gets said that's like, Wow, where'd that come from? I mean,
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
true.
and before we get out of here too, I gotta give a shout out to Tony Sampson, because Tony, that you had that little movie clip or show clip or whatever you want to call that you put out of you going out on the ship or out on the boats, and you guys, that was awesome, dude. You could be your own, you could do your own show, and it would, I tell you what, if you do your own show, Tony, I'll bet could it be Oak Island? They're going to have to change, and they're going to have to develop that, but they would love to show it. I'm going to be talking about it. It will be a hit, because that was well done. I loved it. I watched it a couple of times. It was well done. You should go with it, guy. I'm telling you what.
Dude.
Don't you guys agree with me on that?
Yes.
He has such.
We've had him. I think we both had him on, and he is so wonderful to interview.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
He's not just the nicest guy. He's like the nicest guy. Plus, he has the ability to like hold attention.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yep.
And it's just he is the whole package,
Mhm.
and he's like a master diver. So
then there's
Exactly. Yep. 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 I think you're right. And that was really well done. I enjoyed that show, and I want to see more. So you got to get that thing going, because I'm telling you what, your public waits.
It was good.
All right. Yep. Well, I guess there we go. That was whoops. I got to grab the wrong one there. There we go. Oh, you do. Check out our next one coming up. All right. We're going to be tuning in for that for sure. That's great. I think Carmen could do a show too. I think
let us know, Tony. We'll definitely.
The people or just the Curse of Oak Island got so lucky with the cast. I mean, every one of them is like a home run. So it's pretty amazing.
Yep, it is.
You think of the whole show is a perfect storm. A 225-year mystery, great people on an island, no less. Treasure.
Yep.
I mean, everything combined into one was just, you couldn't, do it. And to get a narrator, which I have to give a shout out to Jim.
Oh, yeah, to Robert Clotworthy. Absolutely. What a phenomenal voice. He's a great guy. We had him on the show too, and he was a great guy. I mean, I was just fascinated listening to him talk about stuff, and then it was great having him on. He was really and again, another one of those people like Maddie that, everybody, like you just said, comes together. That's what makes a good, even if you're watching a good TV show, the cast has to get together and form this group that you want to sit and watch and see them interact with each other. Even though none of these people, I don't think, well, maybe Tony, but none of these people aspired to be on TV and doing this kind of stuff. But yet they are a cast of characters who are real people, and they work so well together. And it just seemed they formed this team and that's what part of what brings us back each and every week and each and every season to watch them continue this search, because we've become, and it was like Dave Blankenship said, I mentioned this before, but Dave Blankenship talked about when he was out in public and somebody would see him and then these people would come out and go, I know you. And he said, you don't know me. No, we don't know you, but we feel like we do. We feel like we know each and every one of you characters out there because of our cast of the show, Carmen and Tony and Laird and Aaron and everybody, because we watch you and we get to live Oak Island through your eyes. And that's what makes it so real for us. And and we can't thank you guys enough for doing what you do and bringing it to the world. That's just that's the way I feel about it.
100%.
I think it's a great thing. Yep. And we're right there with you. I hope you find something fantastic.
Sorry. I don't know if you heard that.
Oh, bingo.
Like, you hit the nail right on the head with all that. Bingo.
Yeah. Yep. Bingo for sure. Yeah. Oh, what did he say? What Tony said. Yeah. Yep. Getting to live my dream. You really are. Cool. And we get to live it with you, watching you on here. That's the thing.
And, I mean, Tony's just an amazing guy.
Yep. Thanks, Tony, for being here.
Thank you, Tony.
Last year, on top of it all.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, thanks, Tony, for being here tonight, and Carmen for being in here and interacting with us here tonight. Who else was here? Scott Barlow came on and said hi. We really appreciate you guys very much. Thank you guys for coming out, and being part of this. We just wanted to wrap this up together with Deidra and Dustin, and of course Jack and Linda and Jan and everybody. Just thank you guys so much for being here tonight. We are going to.
I'm just thrilled because I finally get to see you in person
I
and
know.
we get to talk. I
I
mean,
know.
I really love to do this again sometime.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, we will.
Well, it's been our pleasure. Really
It's
has.
been a great night. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And again, don't forget, for those of you who are in our group and you're not part of their group, you need to check it out because they got a fantastic thing going on over at Could It Be Oak Island Podcast. And the trivia night that they do, that I swear I'm going to win it. One of these nights, I'm going to win that.
They do a great job.
It is. It's a lot of fun. You guys do a fantastic thing there with all that. And you keep, like we try to do here, just to interact with everybody and have such a good time. And I'll let you guys give your parting words and then we'll call it a night.
Well, maybe one of these days we'll have you guys on our podcast. How about that?
Oh, I
That would be
look forward
awesome.
to that.
That would
This is
be
a full
awesome.
circle. Yeah, then we can introduce our listeners to you.
Oh,
All right.
all at the same time.
It's-
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we're definitely going to promote this on our next podcast.
Oh,
that
yeah.
we did this so that hopefully people can come and check this one out. And it's been great to hang out with you guys.
Yeah.
Yep. Had a really
I mean,
fun time.
It's funny, we hear your voice and everything, but to do it more in person, it's really been fun for me.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing I said earlier, because when I'm watching them on their show, every now and then they'll give a shout out when they see your name or something come up on the thing. They say something hi to you or something like that, which is great and love that. But it's you watch them on the show and you're thinking, well, that's really great. And then now I actually get to sit here and talk with them. That's what you guys are total celebrities.
Basically.
Well, thanks folks for being with us tonight. We really had a great time. We hope you did too. And this will be up on Facebook, on our page, on their page, on the Facebook pages, YouTube pages, Twitch, and everywhere else. If you see it out there, please, on both sides. And I'm going to jump over, give it a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe if you can to our Facebook or our YouTube pages. Give a subscribe to that. It really does help us out in the long run, and we really appreciate it so very, very much. And we hope you guys all have a great week. And again, we've got Aaron Taylor coming up this Saturday at 2:00. So we really hope that you guys will join us for that. And you have, who do you got coming up?
We have Laird on Monday at 2:00 our time.
Yeah, and that's probably going to push our Oak Island trivia, which is usually on Mondays, to a different day in the week that we have not yet determined.
Yes.
So that would be 5:00 Eastern Standard Time, our time.
Correct.
Yeah, it'd be 5:00 for me. So I'm going to have to run home from work really fast. I get off at 4:30, so I'm going to zoom home, fire up the computer so I can sit and watch that, because I will be there watching that show. That's awesome.
I'm retired, so I don't have that problem.
I know. Well, I ain't got that.
And for you.
All right, folks, have a great night and have a great rest of your week. And hopefully we will see you on Saturday and then on Monday on Could It Be Oak Island Podcast. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Could it be?
It could be.